today. How about that? You like that?
It's great.
Great. There he is, Joe Lisi, Kevin Walsh, joined now by one of our guys here on SportsGrid, Tom Vecchio. Tom, always great to talk to you, my friend. Super Bowl week is on. Seahawks, Patriots, how you feeling?
We've gotten a trickle of information over the past few days, seeing Drake May on the injury report. Don't really think that's too big of a deal at this point. It was last week. If he's on the injury report come Thursday or Friday, then I'll have a different take about things. Seeing that there was an earthquake, earlier in the week, not something that I'm super worried about either. But I'm excited for the game. I have a final score prediction if you want to get to that, but I'm ready to roll.
I'll tell you what, we'll do the final score prediction. We'll get you out of here. Hold on a second. Please, hold on. The earthquake. I like your earthquake analysis a little bit more. Why are you not worried about it? How would it impact the game? Under?
No,
Over?
No worries about it. Game's going to be normal. We're going to have a great one this year, unlike last year. I know it was great for you last year, but it was not great from a viewing perspective.
Game was a delight of a watch, first of all. I don't remember an earthquake during last year's game. But I'm just curious, if there was an earthquake, how would that impact your capping of the game?
Lower scoring because the ground wouldn't be stable enough to run.
I would tend to think Lisi and earthquake would play to the over. Might lose a couple defensive guys, like in The Dark Knight or Batman Begins, whichever one it was with Bane.
It'd go deep.
Right.
You'd go deep. Great. Earthquake or not, Lisi would throw a 50-yard bomb. Thanks. Calls the same script, or earthquake or not. What about in a tornado? Same script?
Nah.
You'd run it?
Heavy formation.
Play action. They wouldn't see it coming. Speaking of heavy formation, I know, Tom, there's a running back prop or two that you've already circled up here for Super Bowl 60. Care to let us in?
Yeah, let's get to George Holani for the Seahawks. I like him over 7.5 receiving yards. I tweeted that out last week. The number's on the move a little bit. It's at 10, 11.5 at some spots. So, I would say buyer beware at that point. But he does play a good role in the role that he has, which is limited, albeit. Like, it's a limited role. He's not going to be out there for a high amount of snaps or touches overall. But they like Zach Charbonnet specifically because of the pass blocking role that he played, a little bit better than Ken Walker. And they're going to have to spell Ken Walker at times. And I do expect Walker to be involved in the passing game. But you give me a two catches potentially from George Holani, I think he goes over that number.
So, Joe, is Holani a guy that, because he was involved against the Rams, right? But the game was also a little off the rails. I know you don't mind a lower running back, short numbers. Is he a guy that you're looking at all?
He has to be because, again, I know Kenneth Walker took a majority of the carries and got a majority of the receiving yards. But throughout the regular season, they have split. Charbonnet was a better goal line back earlier in the year, and then they went to Walker when Charbonnet went down. But to spell Ken Walker, he's going to be the workhorse, but Holani has to get carries. He has to be also utilized in the screen game and the short to intermediate passing game on third down. So it's not a bad look, and especially he's the type of playmaker. He made yards after contact as well against the Rams.
So I'm curious, Tom, with Holani. I know the numbers are incredibly light. Is there, I guess, and I don't mean, look, it's the Super Bowl, so we overanalyze everything, okay? What would worry you about the bet?
Well, what would worry me is that he gets his two targets and he just doesn't come through. And it's just, they just continue to lean on Ken Walker because, again, at the end of the day, you got to get the ball to your best players, right? So, I expect New England to do their utmost to try and mitigate, JSN and, remove him from the game as much as they can and do the same for Ken Walker. So that's where other players are going to have to step up. That's where Barner or Kupp or Rashid Shaheed or Holani are going to have to come in and play. But he's not going to have a ton of touches. He's not going to have a whole lot of bites at the apple. He may only have 2 targets. And that would be my worry, is he doesn't have enough chances.
Tom, I want to ask you about New England's backfield. What is your take about the breakdown? Stevenson getting 75 to 80% of the carries last week. And what is your view for New England's backfield in this matchup?
I think they should get Henderson more involved. I think he's a more explosive player. We've seen big runs from him and big, run after the catch throughout the season. The issue is that Henderson doesn't have enough snaps for me to be super comfortable in taking a lot of his props. I have interest in some of his props. When it comes to Stevenson, though, he was not good against the Broncos. Like under 3 yards per carry is just not good. Just because he had, 24 carries, just because they give him the ball, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Like he cashed that prop, but he's just not good. So when it comes to Henderson, I actually think if the Pats are trailing and or in a neutral game script, that actually will benefit Henderson. If they're leading, they're just going to give the ball to Stevenson to grind away yards, no matter how ugly it is.
No, I agree with that, and we'll see. Is there any concern? Are we aware? Because I've looked. Is Henderson hurt in any capacity? Have you read anything? Have you seen anything about being injured?
No, I know he's dealt with injuries as every player has at this point, but I haven't seen something specific saying that he's going to be in for a limited role. If he's out there, he should be playing at minimum, I think, 30% of the snaps.
So, Tom, the bet I know that you also have in is, because I'm curious if there's anything you added, but I know there's two that you've played, so I want to start there, is a Seattle receiver and kind of maybe a 2-for-1 special, if you will.
Right, that would be Rashid Shaheed to go over 21.5 total receiving yards and then go over 14.5 for his longest reception. And to your point, this is the 2-for-1. This is a double dip that he can get this done on one catch. And throughout the season, he had an 11.4 ADOT, which is average depth of target. He is their deep downfield guy. And we saw it in the opening drive against the Rams, that one catch for 51 yards. That was the only catch he had the entire game. But he's their downfield guy. So I'm thinking Seattle needs to show that they're willing to press that button to go downfield. Because if they're willing to do that, then they can't dedicate so much coverage to JSN. And that will actually free up JSN. That will free up Barner underneath. That will free up everyone else. But they have to be willing to show that they're going to go downfield to Rashid Shaheed. So he may only have 4, maybe 5 targets, but they're all going to be deep shots, and you can get this done in one catch. Both props in one catch.
So you and I talked a bit about Shaheed last week, and he has had some very underwhelming numbers, I think. Shaheed is one of these guys that is now, like, his impact per touch numbers are off the charts, right? But the touches are just not plentiful. But the number that is sticking with me all of a sudden is in this postseason, he has 1 catch on 5 targets. I tend to wonder if in a Super Bowl, is Rashid Shaheed someone that they manufacture and say, we will not leave this game without 4 Rashid Shaheed targets? Because, Tom, I know, like, he jumps off the page as a guy that's worth playing alts on, no?
I would say the same. Because to your point, like, he's great in the return game. We've literally seen it from the jump of games where he returns a kickoff for a touchdown. They're willing to give him running plays, whether it's jet sweeps or handoffs, whatever it's going to be, the pop passes, anything. But they want to get him involved. So, my thought would be, like, if he does go over 21, he's probably going to break that for 30 or 40. So I would be willing to play alts on him. They're not, some of my main bets, but I think that's a very rational way to go.
Would you look to Shaheed alts?
I would, and and Tom and I talked about this about a week ago. I actually think he's viable for a deep shot for an MVP. And the reason why I bring that up, 50-1, because of his ability to return kicks. So if you get that touchdown in the kick game, it's a long shot anyway. But then he doubles it up with a touchdown in the receiving game. You have a lottery ticket on a guy 50-1.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm saying his kick return ability.
There are worse 50-1 bets to make. If Seattle only scores 3 touchdowns, 1 running, a passing touchdown to Shaheed, and he returns 1, he counts for 2 of the 3 touchdowns he had in the field goal. It's 24 points. He does the majority of the lifting, theoretically.
There is one number of his that. So I have not played. As during this conversation, any yardage props,
right?
Like straight, this guy over this number. Through this conversation, I just want to say this. I think it's a very important part of betting the Super Bowl because it's one game. We're all looking at it, but there's so many stuff you might miss something. I think it is find people you trust and talk the game out with them. And there is a Rashid Shaheed number that I am very interested. I'm going to get both Joe's and Tom's thoughts after the break right here on Pro Football Today.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel. All right. You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. There's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Hey, daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pro football today. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi, Tom Vecchio joins us. Tom has been hot on this Rashid Shaheed prop for quite some time. There is a Shaheed number that I am interested in. And again, whether these guys want to, if they were like, no, I don't like the bet. Like, that would maybe be even better because, we'll talk it out. I want to get to a conclusion here if we can. One thing that I have spent quite some time capping, Tom and I have been texting about this even a little bit, is the total players to catch a pass market. Something I promise I will be beating your door down with throughout this week here.
That's the market that you're beating. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Spread it around.
I know. But I've also taken some time to cap the players to record a rush attempt market. And Seattle's number is 4.5 plus price to the over. But the idea from the books is Darnold, Halani, Walker, Shaheed. Those are the four, and then maybe Barner gets a tush push, right? Or someone JSN get the ball. It's a swing pass and it counts, right? Maybe. Here's my thing. I am seeing Rashid Shaheed right now over under rushing yards anywhere from 2.5 to 5.5, right? You always want to get the best of the number. But Shaheed on the season averages, call it 8 yards a rush attempt. We are leaving a game in which he got one rush that went for no yards. That is more often an outlier. And as I said, if this is a guy you want to manufacture touches for, maybe I get 2 attempts. And when he's had 2 attempts, he's landed 20, 5, and 27. So I'll go to you first.
Sure.
Because, oh no, Rashid Shaheed rushing yards, interested or not?
No.
Great. All right. So
I'm stuck.
Great.
No. Again, he was barely used at his strength, which is catching the football. And you go back to last week.
I don't think they see that as his strength.
His strength is running the football.
I think
it's Dalton Hilliard and you know what, Deuce McAllister back there.
I don't think Rashid Shaheed is described almost as like a pure receiver.
What is he?
He's a gadget player. It's just get him the ball. It's Percy Harvin.
Come on.
Am I off base?
Come on.
I would say manufacturing touches for him is not the wrong way to go. They have him in the receiving game because he's electric, right? You get the ball in his hands. He makes one guy miss, 40 yards down the sideline. You get the ball into his hands, he again, with a rush attempt, a pop pass, a jet sweep, whatever it's going to be. I have interest in that because this is the time where like you have to dig deep into the bag to get yards. You have to find ways to get first downs and continue drives. You can't hold anything back in the most important game of the year. So whether it's deep targets to him, which I'm certainly a proponent of, or it's just getting the ball to him in some type of jet sweep when they line up legitimately four or five wide receivers and they have Jason in the backfield, I think that's a great idea.
I just think, look, you don't have to, Joe, he has as many games with no catches as he does with 2 or more.
He's got 15 receptions for Seattle this year. He's coming off a 44 reception year with New Orleans with basic garbage talent at the quarterback position. And he averaged basically 12.5 yards per attempt. I'm just saying.
15 receptions to 7 rush attempts. I mean, and in the he has more carries than receptions in the postseason.
I know, but again, you're coming off a performance. He's an explosive playmaker. You want to get him out in space, and I understand utilizing him in the reverse and sweep game and fly sweeps. I get that. But he can be explosive as a number 2. Look, I'm not discounting Cooper Kupp's experience, especially in the playoffs and Super Bowl, but he's lost a step. The guy's washed up.
He's looked much better this postseason. I mean, he just had. What do you want me to say? He has.
Okay.
What? You know what? You're right. You want to bet Shaheed, so let me pretend Kupp's actually been bad. No, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. You got it.
We are talking speed.
Great. He's got 1 catch. You want to say this is your addiction of guys that don't get used.
He's out there running routes.
I know, so is Terrence Ferguson.
You make it sound like the guy is like not out there.
Yeah, and he has more rush attempts than receptions, and you're telling me that I'm barking up the wrong tree.
No, you asked my opinion.
And that's fine.
But
I'd like
you know what? You should play it.
Yeah, first of all, I will, okay?
Okay,
but,
it.
No, and I will, sure, and I will.
15 plus.
No, listen. I will, and I'll put it in on your phone, but I'll tag it to a Henderson prop that won't come in. Don't worry.
It's nice. I noticed Tom likes Henderson too, but you're not saying anything.
He doesn't like Henderson.
He said he could use him.
Yeah, he said they could use him more. He didn't say he's going to just pretend that he's
I'm
Houston.
taking Henderson.
I don't know what you want. Thing might have been the worst thing that ever happened to you.
Who?
Yeah.
What? Who?
Donovan Edwards coming in.
Why?
Because now you
Did he come in?
Yeah. And we're still waiting. Broken
still
clock.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
All right. You know what?
We're still waiting for you to call a knucklehead to have a good game. Yeah, the pen's not even clicked. There you go. What's that say?
Short. Short says usage, straight up.
Yeah, right. Tom, tell me a little bit more about how much you like this Rashid Shaheed look for me.
I mean, I can get into that, or we get into other props. So you tell me.
So he doesn't want to even tell me. All right, so I'm up against the 2-on-1 handicap match. It's all good.
I said that I think he should be utilized in creative ways. That's just what it comes down to. That's a fact. So being utilized in creative ways is important in any game, but it's the most important in this game. And again, that also comes down to what I think the Pats are going to be doing on defense. You know, I don't know if Gonzalez is going to be shadowing JSN, but he's certainly going to see a lot of him. And it's not going to be one-on-one coverage. They're going to roll extra coverage to JSN. They're going to have an extra guy looking at Ken Walker if they have to stack the box, if the Seattle gets the ball going early on the ground. And that will open up opportunity for Rashid Shaheed. It's not like they're not going to be worried about Cooper Kupp. They're not going to be not worried about A.J. Barner. So I think Shaheed does have an opportunity. Again, he's not going to have 15 total touches. He may only have 5. 1 or 2 of them could certainly come on the ground. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not saying I'm rushing to the window because I already have 2 other Shaheed props.
You mean the ones that we already hit? Okay, I didn't know if you also had 2 more. No. A lot of Shaheed numbers. You like Shaheed?
I agree. I think Shaheed has life in the passing game, not the rushing game.
So let's just then, because we're going to get other picks from Tom after this break. I want to cut scene. Joe Lisi's watching the Super Bowl, and Shaheed comes around on an end around.
I'm going to say get him.
Yep.
Crack him!
Get him! Miss that block!
Crack him! Hit him high, hit him low. Just don't hurt him.
And here's how every passing play for Seattle's going to look. Is that Shaheed? It's just JSN again. It's just JSN again. It's all right, though.
Well, why are we doing the show if you have the answers to the test already? You have all the answers.
No, see, what you do is you create a little space for me where I just have to talk about things that likely will happen while you are over here doing whatever you're doing, and I come off smelling like roses.
Guru.
I said it. No chance. You miss Evan Ingram so bad. We'll get bets from Tom next.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel. All right, you got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow. Right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he can really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pro Football Today, where we've brought Tom Vecchio in to basically chaperone Lisi and I yelling at each other. And I really hope the week is full of that. Tom, it is great to see you. I know you have more bets to go through here. We've talked Talani. We've talked Shaheed. What else we got?
Let's go with both teams to record an interception at plus 200. It's not about the quarterbacks. It's just both teams. So if we get a wacky play end around Philly special and someone happens to throw a non-quarterback,
You're banking on picking off a receiver.
It could be anyone. So it's just both teams to record an interception at 2-1. I was looking at Drake May's interception odds at -138. Sam Darnold's at -128. I do believe Drake May is going to have to pass the ball. Therefore, he will be at a higher risk to throw an interception. But I think both teams in a spot to catch or record an interception at 2-1 is good. I also like Drake May over 19.5 completions. I'm not sure there's a world where the Pats are in a spot to win if Drake May falls below this. If you told me Drake May goes 17 of 28, 17 of 30, I think Seattle's winning this game by 10 points. I think the Pats are live to cover. I'm not going to say they're live to win. My kind of cop-out answer is Seattle wins, but they don't cover. But Drake May needs to go over 19.5 in order for the Pats to have a shot.
No, I think it's a good look. What do you think about the New England receivers in this? I'm curious to know. I want to know. Is it Booty? Is it Diggs? Or is it Hunter Henry? Or maybe a little Pop Douglas, Tom?
Well, I think Kevin knows where I'm going to go with this because, one of the bets that I really do like is Pats for the number of total players to catch a pass, over 6.5 different players on the Pats to catch a pass, and that's at -174. So to answer your question, Joe, it's not just Diggs. It's not just Booty. The way the Pats have operated all season is that Drake May is the rising tide that lifts all ships. So it's 20 yards here, 30 yards here, 40 here, 40 here. It's there's no JSN for the Pats. There's no one guy that's going to need to have 100 yards. It's everyone chipping in, doing just a little bit. And Drake May is that elevator of talent. So he can have 3 or 4 different receivers, a tight end and a running back, all have 30 or 40 yards. And all of a sudden, Drake May's at 200 yards. You didn't know because no one guy's dominating the box score. It's everyone doing their part.
No, I'm curious to see how they do attack it. I like Kyle Williams, if he's healthy, to score a touchdown.
Yeah, there we go. That's my boy. I know you. You know what I love?
Pop Douglas.
I like Tom giving out 2 picks.
Yeah.
And you being like, great look. So let's talk about something different.
They are a great look.
Are you? You know what? I'm not sure they are.
Well, okay.
I'm not sure I like that completions look.
Okay. So,
Well,
you're just playing devil's advocate now.
Well, listen, someone has to.
Okay, so that all right. There you go.
I don't know. 3 games this postseason. He hasn't completed 20 passes yet. They've won all 3. So Tom, does that not worry you?
It certainly worries me, but some of those games, specifically with the Chargers and the Texans, they were in control of those games. And they were essentially in control of the Denver game, which is like, you just don't make mistakes and we'll win the game. CJ Stroud has a million turnovers and the Pats are just in control of that game. So they haven't had a game where they've needed to pass the ball. They've needed to come back. So I guess what I'm expecting the Pats to play from behind at least a little bit.
So that's what I'm a little bit hung up on, where is you're saying like he needs to throw the ball 20 times to win, but I feel like the design of the bet more so is you don't think they're going to win, therefore he'll need to be throwing the football.
I think it's both. I think both things can be true. It's not one or the other. I think there's parts of both where
you think he can get there regardless of script.
I'm not sure how much success the Pats are going to have on the ground. I really am hesitant to say that they're going to have a lot of success running the ball. They're going to try, but I just don't know if they're going to be overly successful. Therefore, if they're not moving the ball on the ground, he's going to have to pass it, and the potential that Seattle actually scores points, so then they have to pass it because they can't move the ball on the ground.
With the interception bet, Tom, like some books don't offer the ability to parlay interceptions. I don't know if, and maybe none do. Did you look into that and find any type of noticeable gap?
So you can't do that. Like you can't parlay May and Darnold both to throw an interception, but getting both teams to record at 2-1, you're not getting an extremely fair price. It should be around 225 or 240, but you give me 2-1 on something that I do like, I'll take it. The odds are close enough.
Do you find that you'd rather play a 2-1 plus price than zeroing in on the quarterback that you actually like to throw the interception?
I may also add May at -138 to throw an interception. I do think that is the more likely of the two. I'm halfway there on it because I essentially think it's going to happen, but I do like the plus 200.
I wonder, so I know like often a lot of times it's like, hey, I got 2+ bets. If I split it, cool, right? I know this isn't that exact theory where splitting does you no good, but it's also, I mean, it's better than a full loss. But so I think that's a fun bet to game theory talk out, and I think we will do that more as the week goes on. I'm sure we'll talk to our guy Tom again. Tom, always a pleasure. Best of luck heading into the Super Bowl, man.
Of course, same to you guys.
Great stuff there from Tom Vecchio. We are going to get back to talk a little bit more about the side in Super Bowl 60. Of course, it is the Pats, it is the Seahawks, and it's next on SportsGrid. I know. So I don't think we should hold back everything.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna just put this on the board right now.
Go ahead. Put it on the board.
I've bet the Patriots. I bet them on open when the game was set at +5.
It's a good look.
It
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so?
I do.
Really?
It's a good look.
Yes. Look at the Seattle's, right? You're ringing in your ears.
Go ahead.
I like the New England Patriots in this game. I bet the +5 on open. I pretty much had a feeling as I was watching the AFC Championship game, just the way it played out, that if Denver was able to escape in that game, they were going to get a little too much love. People are going to be too interested in Sean Payton. Hey, you never know with a dog, with Stidham, backup quarterback, and I was going to end up on the NFC side. And if New England made it through, people are going to be too low on the Patriots, who are a very good team, did have a very easy schedule, and that's pretty much what happened. I was hoping to get over 3 in this game. It is something that I am self-aware of, that I care if something is 3.5 or 4, 4.5 or 5, and this being at 5, I wanted to get before the number worked backwards, because it was starting to work backwards in a couple spots, and we're now pretty much seeing 4.5. Now, I will say, if you're watching this, you're like, hey, do you still like it at 4.5? Of course. Honestly, at 4 or better, I am very, very happy to bet New England. I would still like them at 3.5. I mean, quite frankly, I would like them at 3. I think they're very, very live to win this game. It's just, you should not be betting the Patriots at this point at +3 if that were to ever come available, just because you've missed out on the number far too much. And that's just the simple, follow the numbers and getting, in at the appropriate time. But I think we have value on New England because of what they didn't do being highlighted far more than what they did do. What they did not do was look great offensively, but they did look very good defensively. And while the Chargers, Texans, and Jarrett Stidham-led Denver Broncos offer up not a ton of resistance, it doesn't mean that this defense doesn't get credit for playing great in those games. It's similar to how the offense played in the regular season. The Patriots played bad teams. They abused them. Yes, the Chargers' offense came up with a bad offensive line. Scored 3 points. Yes, C.J. Stroud looked turnover prone. They picked him off 4 times. They made him pay. They forced another fumble in that game. Yes, Jarrett Stidham was going to struggle to move the ball. Held in the 7. They got a pivotal turnover plus an interception, but, the fumble recovery, their defense did everything and then some that you would expect them to do against those teams. So the question becomes, do you think that this New England offense can step up and, carry their weight at all in this matchup? And I believe the answer to that is yes. They grade out as the best offense per EPA in football this season. And it's because I think Drake May is deserving of league MVP. I don't think you just fall backwards into leading the league in passer rating, QBR, yards per attempt, and completion percentage. And while I don't think May has, shown himself super favorably in these games, I thought the late touchdown to Hunter Henry against the Chargers was impressive. I think throwing 3 touchdowns against the Texans defense has been undersold. I think what he put on display running the football, 65 yards and a score against the Broncos, has been under-discussed in the grand scheme. I do. And I think Drake May is better than Sam Darnold. So I have the better quarterback in the game. I think these are close football teams. I think this could be a close game. We've seen that in the Super Bowl. I think, over the last 5, Joe, 3 or 4 of them, 3 of them maybe have landed 3 points, exactly. Could this be 24-21, 27-24? Yeah, it could. I also think New England could win because while the Seattle Seahawks have obviously had a very impressive season, I think their defense does have a little bit of give to it when playing the top 1% of offenses in this league. I think Sam Darnold has turnover questions, considering he led the NFL in turnovers. I think their rush attack, with no potential second punch without Charbonnet, a rush attack that graded out very, very poorly efficiency-wise, may not be the most reliable in this game. So I like New England. I really, really like New England. They're my side. I kind of knew they would be really once they got through the Broncos and just how that was being discussed. And it's not going to change, Joe, no, really, unless they tell me that the Drake May injuries are far more concerning than I think we actually believe they are.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the Super Bowl. Both teams are deserving of being there, whether you believe it was a soft schedule or not for New England. You bring up, admirable points for that. I struggle from the side right now with the number.
Okay.
Because that's a high number, to your point.
Yeah.
Right? We saw 3.5. Now, even 3.5, if you just break it down, the book had no problem. Multiple books, obviously, we know they all work in unison for the most part, establishing, the line. You're not going to see a 3.5 and then a 7, right? You're going to see 3.5, 4, right? All a half a point or less. It was still over a key number at 3 and the hook. To me, that's a Seattle line when I see that. So, again, when you just look at that. Now, do I believe New England can win the game? Absolutely. Do I have confidence that they're going to break tendency and try and do something that they haven't done up until this point from an offensive philosophy and identity perspective and feel confident in that? No, but I still believe that that's the route to win the game. But from the side perspective, I do like Seattle. I just think, again, they're built. I believe Sam Darnold's a better quarterback than Drake May right now. I think he's a veteran. I'm willing to back him in this situation more than Drake May. It's not a knock on May. It's just that, again, he's been a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
I still feel very confident on the total. That is my best bet in the game. But the side perspective, I do like Seattle. Again, I just think Seattle, to me, defensively is more physical.
Yeah.
And I do like the offensive balance more with Seattle than I do with New England. And again, I'm not knocking New England, but I have to look at this game objectively and say, okay, which team do I believe can run the football better? Kenneth Walker and Seattle's offensive line. Which quarterback do I believe can get to 300? I do believe it's Sam Darnold.
Really?
I do. And I think New England's just, look, as bad as C.J. Stroud was in that game,
Okay.
he still made some throws that were.
Yeah, I don't think.
And that was with, honestly, pedestrian wide receivers.
I understand.
I mean, Nico
Yeah.
Collins was out for a majority of that game. It was Hutchinson and Higgins and Knoll. JSN is just at a different level.
Yeah.
And if they do implement a little Shaheed with the speed and you get Cooper Kupp and then Barner, I just feel more confident in Seattle dictating the tempo. But again, I still like the over sidewise as long as we don't see 5.5s or 5s. I'm willing to lay it with Seattle.
What I'm interested in is, I guess for me at least, right? If you like the total, which you feel stronger about, I know it's listen, hey, it's a Super Bowl. We're going to tell you if we lean one way or the other. I understand that, right? And this is where I think I do have to just accept. I see the Patriots specifically in this game differently. Like, I'd be very surprised if they weren't in the 20s.
Who? New England? Then the total's flying through.
I don't see Seattle in the 30s.
Okay.
I really don't. I don't. Like, I expect a close football game. I think
You see more 24-19 or something crazy like that.
it's just more so. This is a team who, yes, had a couple of monster offensive performances. Seattle, I'm not saying that they didn't, but they didn't string together 30, 30, 30. And you're asking Darnold off for the game of his life to do it again? That's heavy to me. We'll talk a little bit more about it next right here on Pro Football Today.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're talking Seahawks Patriots. So obviously, we're going to be talking it all week.
All
long.
week. So juicy.
So, I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's going to.
I have my props listed.
Good. No, that's
Kyle Williams.
Yep.
11-1 anytime. Travion Henderson, 30, 40, 50. I got Barner there.
Yep.
And I'm waiting for a number on Williams. That's just the appetizers.
Okay. So, and I'll, try and piece some stuff together. So, Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe that's what a lot of this will boil down to. Again, and, he proves me wrong again. Okay, fine. Sam Darnold is coming off of the best game of his life.
346, yeah.
Right? Okay. Do you think it's unfair that I think expecting Sam Darnold to go for 303 again I think that's nuts.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's understandable. I get it, but you can't say, all right, so maybe not 300, but would it shock you if he goes for 265 and 2 touchdowns? I'm just saying, if he throws for 2 touchdowns, Kenneth Walker runs into, it's 28
You know what
points.
would surprise me?
Yeah.
If he throws the ball 30 times again and doesn't get picked off.
All right, that's possible. I mean, it's a Super Bowl. We see crazy things happen.
Right.
I mean, bounces off a helmet, a batted ball. I mean, anything could happen with the interception. At the end of the half, he throws a Hail Mary. And, I'm just saying, like, that's not going to shock me in any way. What I look at, though, is, again, I keep going back to this, is like, look, love him or hate him, I feel more confident in Sam Darnold playing with a deficit than I do Drake May right here, right now. And you keep saying that, but it's the truth.
I guess all right, so what would be fair is Drake hasn't played a lot of football with a deficit, but Darnold hasn't really either.
What I mean by that, hang on. Let me make it clearer for you. The Patriots have been able to dictate the tempo against inferior competition. Okay? The best defense they faced, I believe, in the playoffs was last week.
Okay.
All right? But they were also at a hindrance because Stidham hits the 54-yard bomb to Mims. They score. They fail to go for 2. The momentum switches. And then all of a sudden, Sean Payton, Mr. Roll the Dice, gets complacent with his backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. And really, so the game flow for that game is, I agree with you. I think New England is like, hey, you're not challenging us since that big play. We're content just running Ramondre in the ground.
Yeah.
They're not going to – I do not believe that that's going to play out that way in this match.
Okay.
They're going to – if they're going to dictate the tempo, which now they have done in 3 basically they still were able to dictate the tempo from the second quarter on, right? They're playing bully ball. They're not going to be able to do that the style they've done the last 3 games. And that's my point. If they want to get the lead, if they want to take the game to Seattle, you have to break tendency. They go back to the tape. They rarely throw on first down. It's Ramondre or whoever's back there, run the football, 2nd and 6. Now, if they try to do that, they're going to be in 2nd and 9, 3rd and 11, and then advantage, Seattle. And I just told you there are 3 games with the third down offensive efficiency. It was like, what, 3 of 14, 4 of 18. I mean, that's under 30% third down conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you could stay ahead of the sticks is if you're throwing the football early on. So that's why I like the over. Again, it's going outside the box. I understand, yes, can they be more physical? It's possible. But 28 teams tried to run the football on Seattle, and they haven't broken 100 yards yet. So if we're looking statistically, right, can this game be the outlier? Yeah, it's possible, but more likely it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I guess. It's so interesting. New England doing the things that you don't like, of just like, run it, who cares, we'll be fine, kick a field goal, whatever. I really believe was a product of the environment. Looking at their opponent.
So then you agree that this is potentially going to be high scoring.
So
go ahead.
What I realize is that if I bet how I maybe normally used to, I would just say, hey guys, Pat's team total, best bet. I feel good about the sides. That's what I like to bet. You know what I mean? But I expect New England to score 20.
Okay, if that's the case.
24.
Well, then I think this is a 50-plus game.
I don't have the same confidence that
See,
you do
now,
in
to your
Seattle.
point, Sam Darnold might throw 2 interceptions.
But those are good for you.
Yeah, because I still think he could come back with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, yes, I lean to Seattle with the side. Okay, I think that's a Seattle line. I think they're begging you to take the 4.5 or even 3.5 over a key number in a Super Bowl. I just think they're begging you to do that.
But people are more so laying it with Seattle. Seattle is going to be the public side. That's what's going to happen.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I mean, that's fine.
Take the information for what it's worth. I know what's out there. And again, we'll see where this line goes. I'll just say this. If you see 3.5s, Seattle ain't the public side. I'm just sorry. It would be a divergence. Seattle's the public side. Line's going down. Something's not adding up, right? Technically?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole...
I'm just saying.
We see that, though. I mean,
yeah,
that
because either one, the information's wrong.
But I don't think, I don't think we're going to see 3.5 at all.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I think Seattle is where people want to be. I think people think they're better. I think they think New England are frauds. And I think that's the way it's going to play out.
Okay.
For how the bettors approach this game. And I don't know. I think having full trust in this Seahawks offense is a mistake. That's what I
Who's the best player on the field? Both offenses.
I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I guess. Drake May is going to finish second in MVP, though, so I don't think he's far behind.
Okay.
He's going to finish second in MVP.
He's going to have to make plays with his arms then.
Yeah, I agree.
The 60 or 50 yards on the ground, they got to cut it.
But I just like the combination as well, though, of also like Josh McDaniels being here is a big deal.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, again, veteran experience on the staff. But again, yes. But those Belichick teams were also chameleons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Show something one way, do it in the big spot, break tendency.
Yep. I think they will throw the ball.
Yeah, but then with the overs, then you should be on it with because I think they have to.
No, but again, I guess what I'm prepared for, I'm not saying is likely, but I'm prepared to be watching the game. Final score 27-17 New England, and it's, we'll talk more Pro Football today. Let's make it happen.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like You're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Pro football today. Kevin Walsh, Joe Lisi. Going to be a fun week here on SportsGrid. Super Bowl coverage, Super Bowl 60 out in San Francisco. We appreciate Jake Aspen stopping by, talking a little bit about the game, his perspective, as well as Tom Vecchio getting a couple of picks from him. Joe, I actually wanted to pull back a little. We've talked, you and I, a little bit about Darnold. The perspective that Jake offered up, the Jets fans that all root for Darnold and everything, and do you has Darnold fully entered into that different conversation?
Yes.
Like, he's a different guy. We don't have to wonder, hey, can you win with him? Like, it's just a whole different elephant now?
Well, I mean, I think he erased everything with the back-to-back games, and I know he didn't do much against San Francisco, but he still engineered and managed that win, and he backs it up with his best performance against the L.A. Rams. And then you couple that with the second-half performance against L.A. when they trailed by double digits. He put his team in a position into overtime and then steals it, with the 2-point conversion. I just think he's at that level now where he is going to be one of the top 10 quarterbacks. I honestly believe that. I mean, look, if he comes out and throws 4 interceptions, it would be terrible. But again, the regular season, Kev, he's engineered back-to-back 14 in 3 years.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean,
with 2 different teams.
But that's where it's so tricky, right? Because it's with 2 different teams, 2 different setups, and it's like, how much of the credit can we give to everyone else, right?
Yeah,
O'Connell won Coach of the Year.
Or JSN, Kubiak, right?
Justin Jefferson. It's like, how much of that credit can we keep giving other people? Like, so I do believe he has completely changed the conversation. I also think that this game is going to go a long way, though.
So, all right, so if he goes out and throws 275, 2 or 3 touchdowns, no picks, they win it handily or cover.
Yeah.
You're set for next year?
Yeah, I think
put it this way, he's earned more. He's earned more from the record and just winning in the playoffs than Josh Allen up until this point, no?
So I actually would say no.
Okay.
People can not like that. I don't, because I think that Josh Allen has had a lot of great really, really good playoff performances under his belt. I understand Darnold's made a Super Bowl. I can tell you firsthand that making a Super Bowl, even winning a Super Bowl, doesn't just get to put you in front of Jalen Hurts or in front of Josh Allen through the lens of Jalen Hurts. I've seen that. What I will tell you is this. If Darnold is awful, I'm not going to be like, told you, bottom 10 quarterback in the league. But I'm also not I think there is a level of year in, year out, and in an interesting way, the changing of situations, right? That lack of consistency works in Darnold's favor, but it's going to keep making us wonder. What I mean is, everyone agrees Kevin O'Connell really good at calling plays. I think mostly we agree Clint Kubiak really good at calling plays. So now we got to go through another guy. Is this guy good, right? So, but I think all of that aside, I think that's all for next year, right? That's all for the fact that the look-ahead Super Bowl odds have Seattle as the favorite. I think that's silly.
But short term, if he wins a Super Bowl,
yeah,
he's now erased any. There's no and performs at an elite level.
So that's where I'm in a weird spot. I actually think he already has. I think he already is now the franchise quarterback in Seattle. Everyone would have him as a top 14 quarterback. I think a lot of people will have him as a top 10 quarterback. And I think it's regardless of what happens in the game.
Okay.
But I think everyone needs to look honestly and say, hey, do you trust Sam Darnold in this spot? And I don't think that's just for us as the bettors. This is one of the most interesting things, and I think we'll get into this quite a bit tomorrow, is what does Seattle believe their approach to Darnold should be in the game? Seattle, not New England. They spent 6 weeks being like, hey, listen, buddy, you will not lose us games anymore. You will play it close to the vest. This defense, JSN, the run game, we're going to figure it out. And then they zagged. They did everything you've ever wanted a team to do in the NFC Championship game.
They took the governor off.
Break tendency, governor off, bing, bang, boom, 31, no problem. They could have kept scoring more. Do they go into the Super Bowl going, okay?
You can't go into No, you can't. You cannot do that.
Or do you let the horse run?
You let that horse run like Secretariat, baby. you get out eight lengths. Seabiscuit, I think. Was it Secretariat? Seabiscuit. Come on, Red.
That. I worry about, hey, don't.
You're terrible for an over. You're telling me that New England's going to score 24, but you don't like the total.
Sure. What if it's 24-21?
50 plus. 50
24-21.
50 plus.
It happens.
50 plus.
Oh, you got it. 75.5. Why did they stop there? Pro Football Today. It's going to be a heck of a week here on SportsGrid.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room.
Sign now. Like Najee should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
OK Dubs has to go back to his roots. I'm not a Jets fan, I'm not a Giants fan, and neither one of those teams even play in New York. But I'm a New Yorker through and through, despite where my mail gets sent. And I will not stand for the Jets to be dragged through the mud in this way. Not going to happen. So Dante Moore, if you do leave, you should be so lucky to fly the plane.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.